Check, yeah. Don't ask me why again, we tried again and didn't feel the same. The plans was open up the diagram. Winter overseas, I got some bags that need acquiring. We used to get cash, the checks bigger so they wire them. Plug talk, fuck the middleman, bring the supplier in. From Italy to Ireland.
Generation of Wrestling Podcast. You are now rocking with the God. What's really good?
Let's get it, GOW!
This is your forever Knockouts World Champion and Hardcore Country, and you are listening to the GOW Podcast because, you know, we always like to do it with a little hardcore country.
I got my stripes earned, battle tested, Mike's burned. It takes time being big.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the GOW. I'm the franchise. With me as always, I got my tag team partner, my brother, King Tuco. Bro, how you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. As you can see, I'm excited, man, because we got a special guest with us today.
Absolutely. And with us, man, look, he is part of one of the greatest tag teams of the modern era. But my boy found out real quick he was bound for glory, not once, but twice. Yes, New York's finest. We got the realest in the room, man. TNA World Heavyweight Champ, Mike Santana. How you doing, brother?
What's good? How you doing?
Well, look, man, we got a lot to talk about. But look, let's get to the business at hand.
Let's do it.
Next week, TNA Wrestling. First time since 2013. Coming back to the land, baby, the 216. And you got a world title defense against that man that's been talking so much trash, Eddie Edwards. If you don't know what I'm talking about, TNA Rebellion, Saturday, April 11th. Go check it out, CSU Wolstein Center. Man, look, he had a lot to say about you. When we talked to him a couple days ago, he said, it's going to be a barn burn. It's going to be a fight. I'm ready to whoop his ass. And then yesterday, he came out and he claimed you was very emotional, you know, and you putting on this facade right now. What do you got to say, man, to all the salacious claims made by one Eddie Edwards?
First of all, Eddie finally decided to crawl out of the bottom of the rock that he's been living under for the last few years, and he decided to get a little brave with his words. And by all means, Eddie Edwards is, I'll give him his props. He's one of the best wrestlers, out, you know what I mean? Like he's one of the guys. Foundational pillar of TNA wrestling. But for the last few years, I feel like he got comfortable and complacent. I feel like he's been hiding behind every little group that he's been a part of, right? Whether it was Honor No More, whatever it was, whether it's the system, I feel like he's been hiding behind all of those guys. And, he hasn't been able to, I guess, prove to himself that he deserves to be in the spot that he's in today, which is in the main event. But guess what? I brought him to the main event, right? He's in the main event because of me. And like he said, it's going to be a fight. We both have very similar styles, no nonsense, straightforward, like let's put these hands to work, right? And both have very similar paths in our careers, right? Both tag team guys. Broke away, became successful singles guys, world champions. And but we're going to see what's up when we step through those ropes.
Absolutely.
With the system being kind of a reemergence of sorts, what is your mindset going into the pay-per-view? Because you can't expect them to be a fair fight. You know they're going to try something. So what's the mindset that you have going into the pay-per-view?
To be honest, as you guys know, like if you follow the path that I've been on, like I've gone through the system before, one by one. Right. And though they have two new members with Bear Bronson and with Cedric Alexander, I've also beat both of those men. So I think Moose said this a few weeks back. I have the blueprint of how to get through the system. You do. And all I got to do is put that blueprint to work again.
Well, let's start. Speaking of blueprint, man, I always say lessons turn to blessings. Yeah. You've made no mistake about the rough past you had. We're not going to talk about that, man. We've been through that. We've been there and done that. But you going from somebody wants to say, undesirable to undeniable, right? Yeah. Here you are a household name. Now, how does that make you feel? More recently, you just showed up on NXT, 6-man tag. That New York crowd had your back like none other, man. And we sit here, we can say it, but to actually see it, to live it, to feel it. How does it feel, man, to know Mike Santana truly is on top and you in that upper echelon conversation?
It's definitely a good feeling, man. Like this is what we work towards. I always say, if you get in this business and you ain't striving to be at the top, then why are you here? You know what I mean? And it's something that we are all work towards. And me being in this position is just a testament to the work that I've put in. You know what I mean? Like the last 2 years alone, I came back to wrestling in August of 2023, and I already, had that plan for myself. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew how I was going to do it. I didn't care how much time it was going to take. We were going to strap the boots tight and we're going to get to work. So, just thinking back on the last couple of years, man, and just what I've been able to accomplish and what I've been through, and man, it's crazy. And what's crazier is that I feel like I'm just getting started. I'm more motivated. I'm hungrier than ever. Like just because I got to this spot doesn't mean that I rest on my laurels. It doesn't mean that I could sit back and I could just chill out, right? Like now is showing why I'm in this spot and doing everything I can possible to stay in this spot. So that hunger and that drive and that motivation for me doesn't end. There's a lot of guys that get caught up in the bright lights and in the hype, and they let it get to their head. And for me is like, all right, what's next? Let's get to work.
What would your message be to someone who sees a guy like you, a guy who had to start from humble beginnings and come through? What is your message to that person that wants to take that same path, especially to get where you are at?
Man, it's possible. I've I tell, like, for me is like the same example that I set for my daughter, right? Like I'm living, breathing personification of like it's possible.
Right.
Don't matter what you've been through, doesn't matter where you come from.
Right.
If you want it, you make it happen for yourself. I have this phrase that I always use, and when I used to have like a wrestling school, and I used to always say, either you want it or you don't want it. If you want it, you're going to do whatever you can. You're going to do whatever it takes and put in the work and make it happen for yourself. And if you don't, you don't. It's just plain as simple as that.
Hey, straight to the point. I like it.
One person you talk about a lie, we've seen a lie, your daughter,
Yeah.
right? She's a big part of your why. We both have daughters as well.
Yeah.
With your daughter getting older now and really understanding what you are and what you do,
Mm-hmm.
how has life changed for her, man? Because she's almost a bigger star as you now, man.
Yeah.
So how is life for her every day?
It's crazy. So she loves this, right? And she watches more wrestling than I do, which is crazy. But she's like like you said, she's like a little superstar in school, man. Like a lot of people saw her on TV. A lot of people, see the pictures on internet. Like they've seen her pop up on like TikTok and stuff. So she's like a little celebrity at school, and it's cool, man. But like again, the ultimate, thing is just showing her that her wildest dreams could become a reality. And the fact that she is able to say that, and I'm showing her firsthand, is everything. What more can I ask for as a father, right? Like to literally show her every single day, like you put in the work, you get the results. So
Real quick, Mike, not to be too off topic, but with it being baseball season, you being a New York guy, what's your favorite team? Right? If you have are you a Mets guy or a Yankees kind of guy?
damn. So so I live in the Bronx. I literally live walking distance from Yankee Stadium, right? So I'm not looking forward to that traffic when I get home. I'm really not. It's opening day there too, so
I can believe it.
like that traffic is going to be ridiculous. Anyways, so I grew up going to both, right? I grew up. So my grandparents, diehard Mets fans, right? They live in 1986, 100%. Like my grandfather lives in 80, like he still lives there right now. Yeah. So, so I grew up going to Shea Stadium a lot, right? I went to a lot of Mets games, but also like I got into the Yankees when I was, early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s when they had that all-star team.
Jeter and all that.
Bro, for me, I feel like there'll never be a team like that in sports. No. So I feel like it's the Yankees and then the Chicago Bulls. Like that team is like their equivalents, right? And I remember as a kid just like, Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill, Derek Jeter, Posada, Clemens, bro. Like It was an all-star team, so I can't even choose. Is both. And then on the Mets is like Piazza,
Yeah.
right? Like legend,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, I can't even choose, bro, because then I'm gonna have beef with my grandparents, and that's where I go, and that's where I go to eat on Sundays. So
Well, got you.
yeah.
Well, I had to put you on the spot because my daughter, she wanted me to ask you that.
Yeah.
So, because she's a big baseball fan.
Ah,
so
okay,
definitely
okay.
wanted to get
Awesome.
that one in.
Well, speaking of New York and speaking of growing up in New York, what are your earliest memories, man, of pro wrestling? And now that you are the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, you made no secret. You still walk the New York streets every day, man. You just a regular dude, man.
100%.
What's the feeling now walking, being Mike Santana, the champion, as opposed to Mike Santana, the kid back in the day?
Honestly, I try to. There ain't no difference.
Yeah.
I'm still me.
Okay.
Right? I still walk around the same blocks, the same streets that I came up on. I still, it's cool because like when people who grew up with me see me and those that are still around, like they're like, yo, like you still here?
Yeah.
Like you still like, and I'm like, yeah, where am I supposed to go? Like this is home, you know what I
This is
mean?
what I know.
But they're so used to, like so many people are so used to like people like making it or, whatever, and they leave, right? Which by all means, to each his own, right? But for me, I felt like one, New York is home, and two, I felt like it was important for me to stay where I'm from because I again want to be that example of like people who can make it and can make something of themselves, but also like never forget where they come from.
Absolutely.
Mike, I gotta ask, man, how has it been since you've gotten the title back and now being on TV back again with ANC? Just speak on just how that ride has been for you for the past couple of months.
It's been crazy, man. Like that debut on AMC was a huge deal. Like TNA hasn't been on a major network since Spike TV.
It's
been a long
10
time.
years,
And I think TNA has been producing so many good things that now finally people are going to get to see it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be more accessible to so many people. Like AMC is in 60 to 80 million homes. You know what I mean? So the accessibility is so important and it's great. And I think this is a huge opportunity for TNA itself to show what we've been doing, but also prove why we belong there. But overall it's been great. Everyone is super motivated. Everyone is putting in the work, and everyone has that same common mindset of like, let's continue growing this brand.
Well, look, speaking of growing the brand, you guys are going from city to city, state to state, country to country. Look, TNA Rebellion, man. That's where the end point for this goes. When you in the gym getting ready, man, to put them paws on Eddie Edwards, you up there, you're shredding up, you're leaning out, you're doing what you got to do. What's on the Mike Santana playlist?
Damn, man. So it's funny. So I have a very eclectic array of music that I listen to. I could be in the gym, like going hard and listening to Sade in the headphones, man. I could be in the gym listening to Nas. I could be in the gym listening to Megadeth. So it all varies in how I'm feeling. I could be listening to freaking, Boys to Men, bro. Like, it all varies. It all varies in how I feel but yeah, I love music, right? I'm a kid that like grew up with both my parents were teenagers when I grew up, so they introduced me to a lot of 80s music, a lot of 70s music and stuff like that. So I love everything, man. But yeah, it all depends on how I'm feeling. But you can never go wrong with Sade.
I'm gonna let my bro finish it off, but really quick, speaking of music, because I seen you went to the Rock Hall.
Yes.
You come from New York, the birthplace of hip hop.
Yes.
When you went to the Rock Hall, man, was it what you expected it to be? Did it live up to the hype?
100%. So the Rock Hall was always a bucket list for me. I've always wanted to go because like me and my dad would talk about it all the time. My father was the one who introduced me to like rock and metal and like different music other than hip hop that I grew up on. So we would always talk about it, and every year we always watched the ceremonies and all that stuff together. So it was always a bucket list. So going there was very special, and getting to go around, and there's like 3 different floors of stuff, and it was awesome. So much history. So many cool things, man, and the fact that it's constantly being updated, all the time, and I mean, props to these artists that are willing to donate, all these artifacts and all this stuff to the museum and stuff. So yeah, it was definitely awesome.
With the pay-per-view coming up and with you fighting Eddie, what is that one person that kind of reminds you of the chaos that may come with him, as far as just what you want to expect from a guy like Eddie? He says you guys are similar as far as your attack, your approach. Who is that other person that kind of gives you I want to say like a leg up, but just this person reminds me of this guy. I can use this as a reference.
The old Eddie Edwards.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's the guy that I'm expecting. I don't want this version of Eddie Edwards that you see on TV today.
Right.
I want diehard Eddie Edwards. I want Triple Crown, Ring of Honor champion. I want the first ever GHC, foreign champion.
Right.
I want the guy who went toe to toe with Kenta on the green mat. You know what I mean? Like, I want that guy. Whoever this guy is today,
Say him.
Keep his ass at home.
Well, look, before we get out of here, man, when it's all said and done, Mike, what is it that you want people to say? What's the respect that you want people to put on your name, regardless of, when your time is up? But what's that respect that you want people to say?
Damn. I stood true to me and did it my way.
I like that. I respect that.
Well, look, man, you heard it here first on the GOW. Ladies and gentlemen, Saturday, April 11th, CSU Wolstein Center, TNA Rebellion, Mike Santana versus Eddie Edwards. Of course, we got 2 back-to-back live events on the 14th and the 15th in Syracuse, New York as well.
Yes,
and with
sir.
that being said, man, hey, champ, as always, it's a pleasure.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
Hey, man, and if you haven't already, go get your tickets. Go tune in, get in where you fit in. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the franchise. He's the king. He's the champ. Later.
Get it.
Yes, sir.